All right, guys. So we've got mild weather is the enemy right now. I went out with my son Saturday, and I had him running the processor for me. I was moving logs and whatnot, but he got into a pretty good rhythm and enjoyed it. But coming back in here, I really haven't spent much time in here since I quit smoking cigars. So it is absolutely chaotic. It was always kind of a chaotic place. But we've got to sharpen some chains. I just finally did a little review of the anchor that I had purchased, which is hugely helping with the making GoPro videos. Hopefully you guys kind of see a little bit more of a change, and it's not, I can move around with the camera a little bit more. I'm not tied down by battery issues at the moment. But we do have a 372 that I had built. It's got a 365 cover on it, but it is a 372. I had put a ported right here. I had bought a saw that the seals had gone on, and when I took the jug off, I realized that it was ported. Somebody had got in and done some dress, and I haven't pulled any numbers off of it, but you could see the exhaust side is pretty rough. But I wanted to know how she would run, and she doesn't. So still a good cylinder. I might run the stones through it and see exactly what is going on with it. But it wouldn't actually keep running. It was strong when it was, but this is the carcass that we got from eBay with that jug. Needed seals. I put seals on it. I just got a new flywheel on it, and they're at whole 9 yards. So this one's probably going to be going on the bay as well. Went through everything on it. Put a new oiler on it. The only thing that internally wise that hasn't been done new is the crank. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're using the highway pop-up big bore cylinder. So it's pop-up piston big bore, 52 millimeter, or 372 I believe is 50. These guys, I've been using highway for a while. I've had a couple things go wrong with their components in the past. I actually have one. You guys see one of my favorite parts here. See in there all that nice sheen. I have had one issue. Where what was that? I don't remember. I'm bad at this. I'm bad at remembering this stuff. But I also had one that the Nicosil, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that bubbling in there or not, but after running it, it would not clean up, wouldn't clean up. So I took it apart, and the Nicosil got air behind it or something, and the plate had started coming off. You guys see that? So they had sent me a brand new kit. Now what I don't see, which it's been a little while since I've done this, which isn't a big deal, and what I'll do is I'll get some of my stuff. I build these now. I've been using Moto Seal gasket maker. That's what I'm throwing these guys together with now. I'll have a cap. Besides this, I won't ever stick anything in here or use the cap for it, because I don't want trash going through the saws. what I'll do is I'll just give it a light basting. Okay, then we've got the piston. This is beautiful highway piston. Got our arrow that points to exhaust. Highway's got these nice clips. Generally, I will put a thumb behind them, squish them in with a pair of pliers, and then give them a little rotate. The rotation, I do it for me. I grab onto one and I go right around and make sure it's seated, because I've already had one of these go through a four-wheeler. I had one come out on me, so I have a very love-hate relationship with them. Okay, so we've got them on one side. Now what we do, we've got to put the dealio in here. Arrow pointed towards the exhaust side. Bingo bango. Now I just usually grab the rod, my two fingers, stick it between my two fingers, pull it out a little bit, and I kind of work the piston back and forth until I can get the retainer in. Same thing with this. Once we get it to this point, it's pretty quick. I just started using a ring compressor. It actually came with my husqvarna Farmy Tech clone saw, whatever you want to call it. And it worked all right last time I used it. Come on, you. Usually I like doing it from the recoil side, that way you don't have the handle in the way here. But I don't generally do this on camera either, so. Alright, so that's in. That's ready to rock. So we've got the piston retained on both sides with the clips. Now we need, remember, I usually put I use caber rings, but I think for this one I'm just going to use the stalkers. I'm not keeping this one, and usually I've never really had anybody that appreciates what all the work you put into something. Usually they just buy it and leave a good seller review, and that's pretty much it. So I have no doubt in my mind that these won't be just as good. So their top, it does say top, and there is a bit of a groove in there. There's a pin on both sides of the both sides for the piston ring. And as some of you may have seen, West Coast Saws did a let's put this other one down here for a second. West Coast Saws did a video talking about the proper way to start a saw before you start revving. Get into there. And what happens is things heat up differently. The aluminum in the piston, the jug itself, the piston's obviously going to heat up quicker. And what happens is these little, I'll show you here in a second. Beautiful. So there's little pins on the pistons. I don't know, I might have another piston here. I know I have one here, but... Alright, so here's a demo for you. This is a little 55 piston. There's a little detent pin. You can kind of see on these two rings here, they got them little grooves in them. Well, that little detent pin has caused more issues than anything. It's used to keep the rings in place. Okay, so if for whatever reason this ring is to move over a little bit, it can catch on the exhaust groove or the intake or exhaust groove on the inside, and it'll destroy it. These ports, oh, that's the brand new cylinder, you dummy. Yeah, they'll get hung. You'll hang a ring, it's no good. But what I was going after is these pins are steel. Okay, so the aluminum heats up quick, the pin starts walking if you're revving the snot out of it before it gets actually uniformly warm. And that's what happened to Peter Shea with his 500i, I believe. I had asked him, you know, were you revving it that morning? Was it cold? That, you know, all the questions when you lose an engine. You just have them questions like, what the heck happened? What did I do? Well, these are some things to look out for. Come on, little ring. So now we've got the fun part, which is squishing this all down nicely. And yes, I will try the ring compressor again. I didn't have bad luck with it last time, so. Alright. So we were rudely interrupted. I'm kidding. So we got the piston rings. We use the ring compressor. Very easy, very chintzy deal, but it works beautiful. Now what I do is I just kind of guide it on. Just like so. And there we go. Like I said, there's nothing really, people make a bigger deal out of this than there really is. Yes, you can put your doctor's mittens on and go all to town with it, and I don't know. I have built and rebuilt, and I've done a lot. I'm not saying professional. I'm a backwoods builder, I guess, and I'm fine with that. I never wanted a certification or anything like that when it comes to it, but I build it, it works, and it served me well in the woods for years, and it served well in the woods for a lot of people. You know, I'm not taking an alcohol pad to my fingers once every 10-20 seconds to make sure that I don't have a piece of dust on my finger. You know, it's an engine. The cleaner you can make it, the better it's going to be. But if you pay attention to what you're doing, and you try to not be touching things you don't need to be when you're in the middle of, you know, putting rings on, messing with the piston or cylinder, or, you know, fondling anything more than you need to be, you should be all right. This rubber boot right here, generally I will have that on before I do this. However, The individual before me notched it all out. I don't know why. Is it going to hurt cooling? Could, I suppose, but this should fill that gap pretty decent, so I'm not worried about that so much. Okay, then we've got the fuel line. Boom. What's stopping this thing from running? Okay, so there's your throttle cable. Okay, it I might be able to manipulate it here for you guys. You can kind of see that throttle cable right there. All it does is it goes right down in this. This is just a little holder. It keeps the tension on. It's basically a straw. There's a cable inside of a straw. That straw goes into that holder. That way the cable can move, basically. See? Now, if it wasn't in that straw or that cover, the cable would basically just kind of be limp on itself. So then we just pull the throttle back, flop it in there. Boom. This is our idle, low, high, vice versa. You can see there's the impulse line that goes to the bottom, which you probably can't see in there. That's to the bottom of the cylinder. Spark plug's done, coil's done, on. This line goes to the tank. And then it's got two little straps down at the bottom of the carb. And them tie in, that ties into the base. And then you're all set. You've got a choke. The choke is... Let's put this cap on before we get it all... No good anymore. Keep that good. Choke cable fall? It did. Okay, this is a X Torque. It doesn't really matter. Usually they're gray if they're not. You just kind of weave this guy in without breaking the little tit off the end of it. See, when you finally fish that through, it's got all that movement there. Push it into your deal, and that's your choke. Very, very simple process. So, who wants to see if she'll scream? I do. We're not putting a muffler on it yet. I'm waiting on bolts. See if she cracks off first time here. Hey? A bit more goat juice. There we go, guys. See the oil coming out of the... I got her a little bit thicker on the oil. Anytime I break them in, usually with my little can, just give it maybe a drop or two of oil, just a little bit of lubricity for the initial. That's pretty much it. After I run it, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, I'll go back through and just snug down the head bolts. Realistically, that's all I do. I am waiting on muffler bolts. This might get sold without a muffler on it. I'm at that point where I'm not paying $40 for 4 Husqvarna bolts, so I went on and I found a supplier, and I ordered them a month and a half ago. I need to get some stuff for the processor and whatnot, so this thing might go on there for a little bit of nothing. I've got $200 into it, and then I bought it for $150. So if I could get 5 out of it, somebody's got themselves a nice reliable saw. But you know, it's kind of the name of the game. I just sold the 372 or 371 that you guys originally seen on the channel. I never run it except for out doing cookies a couple times, and it was the Screamer. That one sat on the shelf, and it was going to be my my spare for when the primary one that we've been using kind of happened. But as you guys know, this winter is rough. This is my first year, and everything that I'm doing right now, I won't see a return on probably till next couple months maybe, but the following winter the biggest thing. So I do things like try to buy cheaper saws online, give them a little bit more life, and then put them out there to be used on the internet, or to be used out in the woods for somebody. So like I said, either way guys, God bless y'all. Poke them buttons if you would, and we will see you soon.